why the A-10 Warthog is still unstoppable, and why it might never retire. The United States Air Force saw 39, or nearly 20%, of its fleet of 218 Cold War-era Fairchild Republic A-10 Thunderbolt II close air support (CIS) attack aircraft retired in 2024. In fact, these birds were sent to the 309th Aerospace Maintenance and Regeneration Group, a MARG, for long-term storage at Davis-Monthan Air Force Boneyard in Tucson, Arizona. The cuts were double the number of A-10s that had been retired in the fiscal year 2023, FY23, and even more, Thunderbolt IIs will face the chopping block in the coming months. That could include the 24 station in South Korea at Osan Air Base with the 25th Fighter Squadron, which is likely to return to the United States in the coming weeks. Simple Flying reported, Palm Beach Estate sells for $105 million, shattering record. Palm Beach Estate sells for $105 million, shattering record. Mansion Global. What are screwless dental implants, and how much do they cost? What are screwless dental implants, and how much do they cost? Dental. As part of the annual defense policy bill for fiscal year 2025, FY25, signed into law by President Joe Biden last month, the Air Force could see its operational fleet of A-10s further reduced. The A-10, the unstoppable tank buster, known affectionately among pilots and ground crews as a Warthog, the A-10 first entered service in March 1976, replacing the Vought A-7D Corsair as the Air Force's primary CIS aircraft. The aircraft was developed to counter a Soviet invasion of Western Europe, where it served as a modern tank buster. It more than delivered when it went to war, albeit in Iraq rather than Europe. It was during the 1991 Gulf War. Air and Space Forces magazine reported in 1993 that the A-10 force was credited with destroying 987 tanks, 926 artillery pieces, 1,355 combat vehicles, and a range of other targets, including 10 fighters on the ground and 2 helicopters shot down in air-to-air engagements. The A-10 force, flying more than 8,000 combat sorties, suffered only 5 A-10s destroyed, a loss rate of 0.062%. Over 3 decades later, the A-10 has continued to fly in a CAS role and was among the aircraft that the Air Force deployed to the Middle East in 2024. It was reported to have flown strafing runs on Iranian-backed Iraqi Shia militia columns and ISIS targets in Syria. First cut wasn't the deepest. Despite the role the aircraft continues to play, the Air Force has sought for years to retire the aging A-10, arguing that it is ill-suited to a modern conflict with a near-peer adversary such as China. Those calls for its retirement met repeated objections from lawmakers. Yet finally, in 2022, Congress approved the service's calls to begin to retire the iconic attack plane. The U.S. Air Force has set a goal to see the last of the A-10 sent to the boneyard by 2030. Could the A-10 head to Ukraine or Jordan? Even as some in the U.S. Air Force have apparently lost faith in the A-10, there has been chatter that the Warthog should be sent to Ukraine or Jordan. As previously reported in July, lawmakers on the United States Senate Committee on Armed Services directed Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin III to explore the possibility of transferring the A-10s now being retired to the Royal Jordanian Air Force. The Warthog may be well suited to Jordan's ongoing counter-drug campaign, which has included airstrikes on positions near the Syrian border. The Middle Eastern Kingdom also played a significant role in fighting ISIS over the past decade, and could likely do so again. The A-10 is an ideal aircraft for such campaigns against insurgent forces. Jordan isn't the only nation that has expressed interest in the A-10. The U.S. Air Force had previously discussed a plan to supply Colombia with a squadron of Thunderbolt IIs to counter drug cartels in that country, but it never moved forward. Of course, aviation experts have continued to suggest that the A-10 could be the perfect aircraft for the Ukrainian Air Force, as it was designed to survive even after sustaining heavy damage and can operate from austere airfields. In contrast, the Ukrainian Air Force already operates a similar, but far less capable, Sukhoi Su-25, NATO reporting name Frogfoot. This slow-flying ground attack aircraft has been employed to strike Russian tanks. The A-10C demo team had its final show last year. For aviation buffs, 2024 also marked the end of the line for the A-10 Thunderbolt II demonstration team, which took the skies for a final time at the Stewart Air Show in Witham Field, Florida, as part of the Veterans Day weekend celebrations in November. We want to extend a huge thank you to everyone who supported us and everyone who came out to watch an amazing airframe, pilot, and team perform for you at 1,800 shows across 10 countries over the course of more than 40 years. The A-10 Thunderbolt II demonstration team, expressed in a statement, posted to Facebook. Author experience and expertise. Peter Susiu. Peter Susiu is a Michigan-based writer. He had contributed to more than 4 dozen magazines, newspapers, and websites with over 3,200 published pieces over a 20-year career in journalism. He regularly writes about military hardware, firearms history, cybersecurity, politics, and international affairs. Peter is also a contributing writer for Forbes and Clearance Jobs. You can follow him on Twitter. I admire the A-10 Warthog. The aircraft was instrumental in winning Operation Desert Storm and shortening that conflict, keeping casualties to a minimum. During the War on Terror, the A-10 conducted countless close air support missions to protect U.S. and coalition ground fighters in Iraq and Afghanistan. But the A-10's days are numbered. In the most recent Air Force budget request, the service called for retiring all 162 Warthogs in 2026, 2 years sooner than originally estimated. This is a disappointing outcome for a strike airplane that has enjoyed a strong record since it was first designed to destroy enemy armored vehicles during the Cold War. The F-35 can do its job. One of the reasons for decommissioning the Warthog is redundancy. While the A-10 is great at its job, which consists of ground strike and close air support, these missions can be carried out by the F-35. Since the Air Force, Marine Corps, and Navy all fly F-35s, each service can call in lightning twos for danger-close missions. The F-35 does not have the Warthog's GAU-8 Avenger 30mm rotary cannon, but it can drop numerous munitions when it is equipped in beast mode. F-35s can launch the Stormbreaker smart weapon and the Payway laser-guided bomb. The F-35 can also share targeting data in real time with other airplanes. The A-10 would not survive in modern war. Another reason to retire the Warthog is its low survivability. Air defenses are constantly improving, with better radar and surface-to-air missile SAM systems, such as the Russian S-400 and S-500 that are layered in depth